I had a diagnosis of breast cancer, and it was terminal. I had 6 months to live. I went back to college, became a teacher and an educator, and it took 3 years to do that on a 6 months prognosis. I was placed in a 6th grade classroom. One day, this little boy walked into the classroom. No homework, no paper, no pencil, nothing. He wasn't prepared. He was not prepared for school. Merle was always in the hall. The teacher had always asked him to go into the hall.
It was everyday normal for me to be outside in the hall. People knew me for, being a guy in the hall.
I asked the teacher if I could help the boy in the hall. She looked at me and she said, "Why?"
She asked me, what am I doing in the hall? How am I doing? She says that she wanted to help me.
And he looked up at me so quizzically, the same question that the teacher asked me, why? Like, why? Why do you want to help me?
It changed my life. Something little like that and powerful like that changed my whole perspective of the situation that I was in.
After working with Merle, he had lived with my husband and me on our farm for about 1.5 years and attended school. He did extremely well, but his mom was having another baby and he needed to go back home.
My mom had a drinking problem, an alcohol problem. I never had a father figure in my life, so I was basically a young teenager out there by myself trying to figure out how to survive.
And that's when his life would start to just unravel.
I was having a lot of problems with some grown-ups who lived in my neighborhood. Nobody could help. Nobody would help. I went to people. I went to my cousins, family members. I told a couple grown-ups who I was close with, but nobody could help because they didn't want a part of that. It was hard. I had to be tougher than what I was. I had to have a poker face. One day I was walking home, and these adult guys beat me up. They threw me up against the fence, kicked me, punched me. After that happened, I walked home. I was past my limit. I couldn't take no more. I got a pistol. I seen the guys, and I shot the pistol in the air, and I scared the guys away. I was thinking when I pulled the trigger, leave me alone, that I had enough of this life. I was brought to a juvenile holding facility. I was there for 6 months. And then after that, they changed my charges from juvenile charges to adult charges.
I had received a telephone call from a fellow teacher who told me that Merle had been arrested and was bound over to adult court. And she called me the day after that he was bound over to adult court.
I didn't understand what a bound over hearing was. My mother wasn't there. I had no family there with me in court. I was by myself with this court-appointed lawyer that I had no idea who he was. We
had no opportunity to intervene while he was still in the juvenile system. And if you know anything about the adult system, once you're there, it's hell to try to get out.
They told me that I was going to an adult facility, and that was the hardest thing ever because I didn't know what was going to happen to me. I knew there was murderers in there. I knew there was rapists in there. I was so afraid as a young boy.
I went to see him, and we sat with glass between us and all the carvings on the plywood wall, and it was just like the whole environment was like, this kid shouldn't be here. This little boy with the greatest smile in the world, but now in a uniform and shackled with his arms, his wrists, and his feet, shouldn't be here. We posted bond to have him released into our custody. He was this good kid who we all knew he was, but he had to prove this for a 4-year period. He was an AB student in school. He became president of his class. He was a leader of his basketball team, football team. He had a job. He brought home his paycheck. He did everything that the court system asked of him to do to prove that he could be rehabilitated. At the hearing, the judge decided that Merle could not be rehabilitated, and he was immediately mandated into their custody. It was just unbelievable. Everyone's belief in the quote-unquote justice system had now just been shattered as they led Merle away in handcuffs one more time. Our only hope was to get 2 or 3 appellate court judges to sign off that they would release him into our custody and then have another hearing after that. 2 of these 3 judges said they would place Merle back into our custody, so they overrode the decision of the local judge. So here's the bond money. Now give us Merle. And so we got Merle back out again for the second time. If you don't have the right representation and you don't have the right resources, you don't have a hope. Merle was at their mercy until we were able to come back into his life and to help him, give him that chance that he so deserved. The school-to-prison pipeline has existed for a long time. It's nothing new. They're filling these beds with kids with situations that could have totally been avoided. The education system fails the kids, and then pretty soon their lives are claimed by the streets or by the prison system. We need help. You know, we need help to tell Merle's story. We need help so that no other kids fall into the same situation that he has lived in his life.
Merle and Terrie asked me if I would be interested in helping them put their movie together. I told both Terrie and Merle that I could bring in somebody who can really translate their story onto paper. So I hired Linda Morris. Linda jumped on board this idea. She came out here to Pittsburgh. She talked to Merle, she talked to Terrie, made some notes, and she went back and constructed the screenplay. And this screenplay is They Painted the Walls. The screenplay is terrific. It really hit all the points they talked about, what the story's about. This is a true story we're going to tell, and I really feel we should put it on the screen so everybody can see it worldwide. It's got a message, it's got action, it's got everything we need to be a successful commercial motion picture with a great story to get out to the public.
Our jails are being filled by juveniles in adult prisons. There are so many kids. Send the message that we need to change this.
Help us make this movie.
We could change kids' lives, we could change their future, we could change their vision of life.